Right. So I think we complete the last two, right? Right. So this is second one, income approach. So we have another two, that is expenditure approach. Right. Phone එක දාගෙන නැතුනට කවුද මනුෂා? match එක පරදින්නේ නැහැ නේ මාත් මේ බලපන් ඉඳලා. match එක දිනන scene එකක් තිබ්බනම් වේලාස නෙවන්න හරි තිබ්බා. පරදින scene එකක් තියෙන්නේ යාවලට. ඔප්ස් එකක් තිබ්බොත් මං යවන්න. හරි. Income approach. Right ආගන්න. ළමයි the income of economy we can mainly divide into two parts. Income, two parts. First one, primary income, and other one, the secondary income. Primary income and the secondary income. So secondary income means simply transfers. If you remember the production approach, transfers is at double way transaction or single way transaction. Transfers mean one side transaction, single way transaction. So is that productive or non-productive? Productive transaction or non-productive transaction? Non-productive. So we exclude the transfers from the production approach. So as the same way in the income approach, the secondary income transfers we eliminate karana. We totally exclude from the GDP because those are not producing any goods or services. For example, pension payments, subsidies, because those are transfers. So we have to consider only the primary income. Primary income means the factor income. So these kind of income we generated by supplying the factors, right? If you give land, you can earn rent, labor and wage, capital interest, entrepreneurship, profit. So those are we known as primary income. But according to the SNA 2008 system of national accounting 2008, the primary income we have to identify in a different way. Five types of income, same thing, rent, wage, interest, profit කියන එකම තමයි අපි මේ වෙන විදියකට identify කරන්නේ. So we have to learn one by one. Primary income. හරි. ඉස්සර පොඩ බලන්න. Income approach. That the output flow of an economy over a period of time creates an amount of income, and that amount of income generates an amount of expenditure. This approach calculates gross domestic product of a country using the total income. There be income again tamai GDP ganda hada. Calculating GDP using income approach. The total income of the country can be divided into two main parts, ganda primary income and the secondary income. Primary income, secondary income. Secondary income. Income earned without providing factors. Without providing factors. Without providing factors. So the production process is known as secondary income. These are one-way transaction and do not produce goods or services. Example, pension payments. Pension payments. Subsidies given by government. amount of money given by parents, amount of money given by parents to children right? Therefore, such income is excluded from the national account. Primary income. Income earned by providing factors. Highlight that. Income earned by providing factors. The production process is known as primary income. These revenue add new value to the economy by producing goods and services. There are four main sources of primary income. Now we are going to discuss one by one. Then employee compensation. Employee compensation. The beginning compensation of employee. Same thing. Second one, net operational surplus. Net operational surplus. Net operational surplus. Third one, mixed income. Mixed income. Mixed income. Other net taxes. Other net taxes. On production. Other net taxes on production. Number 5 consumption of capital. Right, very easy. Right. In the compensation of employee. And compensation of employee mean simply salary and the wage, right? Abhi wage make it employee compensation or compensation of employee. So this is the total salary received by the employee, the total income. So it's include everything. Everything mean your transportation allowance, your mobile phone allowance, EPF, ETF, everything. Your uniform, food allowance. Total, your total package be known as a compensation of employee. But the net salary end of the month you receive will be less than the compensation of employee. So that is your net salary. But this is not the net salary, this is a total package. So it's include even your insurance payment as well. Right? Or medical coverage, right? Not only financial thing, there may be some real benefits as well. Real benefits mean uniform. Uniform में रख देना समाला. Food allowance එකක් නෙමෙයි හවසට කිරි පොප් එකකුයි තේ මේ කේක් කැලකුයි දෙනවා. That also kind of your employee compensation. ඒ හැම එකක්ම මේක ඇතුලේ දෙනවා. Not only financial thing, everything. So total real and financial things received by the employee we known as a compensation of employee. But this is not the net salary received by the employee. EPF, ETF කැපෙනවනේ transportation cost එකට අයින් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ ගොඩාක් ඒවා අයින් වෙලා your net salary will be less than this one. Right. Employee compensation is all the benefits, all the benefits that the employer gives to the labor, either in financially or material. It may be financial or material. For the service provided by the laborers. It can be classified under 3 headings: wages and salaries, payment for social protection system, So, you have a social protection system mean EPF, ETF. Then insurance facilities, health facility, disaster allowance, labor compensation for employees, everything. It's include everything. Right. So simply that is a wage. Next one, net operational surplus. Okay, net operational surplus mean other all income. Mainly there are four types of income. Now the rent, wage, interest and profit. The employee compensation can wage. So what are the rest of the three income? Rent, profit and interest. Rent, interest and profit. Method of profit kela ganna api corporate profit. Corporate profit. And company profit. Only company profit. Reason එක මං කියන අනිත් ඒවා ටික තියෙන්නේ මෙතන. Next income එක තමයි. So other rest of the income. Now made in wage. So other than the wage we have rent, interest and the corporate profit we known as a net operational surplus. And net operational surplus හොයන්න આવුත් එහෙම rent plus interest plus corporate profit. So rent, what is rent? Rent is the income received for the land. But when we go to the practical world, actually the rent is not only for the land, to the all property income. It may be sometimes for the building as well. Building, vehicle, machines. Rent property income. So rent is a property income. So not only like that income, sometimes we can receive rent for the intellectual property as well. Right? Intellectual property also kind of property. Intellectual property mean like if you have ownership for copyrights, patents, trademarks, income. So those are we known as rent as well. Now property income rent sometimes it include the intellectual property as well. Net operational surplus. The income generated from factors other than the labor used in the production process is net operating surplus. This consists with the following property income components. Then rent, interest, and the corporate profit. How was answer? Same answer. Either. Actual consumption of household. 4,000. hello so බලන්න එතන net operating surplus can be calculated as follow. Net operating surplus equal rent plus interest plus corporate profit. Interest plus corporate profit. නැත්නම් ගන්න පුළුවන් net operating surplus මෙහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන්. Now from the total value added amount we can deduct this one නේ. wage අයින් කළා නම් ආයේ මේ තුන එනවනේ. එහෙනම් ගන්න net operating surplus equal total GVA total GVA have a corporate විතරයි total GVA of corporate විතරයි total GVA corporate minus කමනේ total GVA කියලා ලියන්න total GVA minus wage total GVA minus wage अभी corporate profit විතරනේ ගත්තා. All right. The rent income බලමු rent income means the income gained by mainly by renting real assets and natural resources. Rental income consists of the following sources. Rental income earned by renting highlight kind of fixed assets and natural resources. එහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන්. The rental income earned by renting houses and assume rent for the own house. But mother අපි ගත්ත estimated value එකක් for own house, right? ඒක highlight කරන්න. Rent for the own houses. And intellectual property as well. So rent income may be for the fixed assets, for own house, and for the intellectual property. Interest payment. This will be in make what happen interest payment. Now Lamai, if you take a loan, you can do two things. First one, consumption and investment. Loan එකක් අරගෙන වට consumption කරන්නත් පුළුවන්, investment එකක් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right? Consumption and the investment. So a loan එකක් අරගෙන if you do consumption, still you have to make payment interest. And you're taking a loan and need an investment, still you have to pay interest. But in national accounting, if you utilize loan for the consumption, then do not consider that interest payment to the GDP. We take a loan for the consumption purpose, and still you have to pay the interest payment, but do not consider that interest payment to the GDP. Don't add that. Because that we consider as a transfer, secondary income. Why? Because consumption means it's not generated a new value. Consumption එකක් කළාට අලුත් value income එකක් generate වෙන්නේ. For example, you take a loan and purchase a washing machine for your own usage. So through that washing machine, is that generated a new income? No. So how you make the interest payment? No income generated from the washing machine, but still you have to pay the interest. So how do you pay it? From your monthly income. Salary again given. So already we considered that. Ne? Salary wages are we already අරගෙන නැති. දැන් ඔයා loan එකක් ගන්නවා for to purchase a car for your own consumption. Is that generate new income? No. ගෙදර private usage එකට තියෙන. So how you make that interest payment? From your monthly income. The monthly income එක අපි already අරගෙනනේ තියෙන්නේ. Right? So if you consider this interest payment, that will be double count in error. දෙපාරක් calculate. So do not consider this one. But if you take a loan and do an investment, for example, a fridge for your hotel, then through that fridge, you can generate a new income. Income එක තමයි interest payment එක කියනවා. Right? Or laundry service එක නම් කරන්නේ through that washing machine you can generate a new income. So ඒකේ එන income එකෙන් තමයි you made this interest payment. So then only you can consider. So the total income of the total interest income of the economy cannot consider to the GDP. So if that interest payment made to the consumption loans, so do not consider. But if that interest payment made to the investment loans, then only consider. But the only thing is government loan. Government loans, they also take loan for the consumption and the investment. And government take loan if they pay salaries of the government employees, right? Those are consumption. But if they take a loan and construct a highway, that is investment. Yeah, loan day-to-day expenditures karanda puluwan makari fixed asset එකක් හදන්නත් පුළුවන්. So if the government loans used for the consumption, that interest payment do not consider. But theoretically, if that government goes to the investment, that interest payment we have to consider. But the practical issue is we cannot identify how much government loans goes for the consumption and the investment. Government loan එකෙන් කොච්චර consumption කළාද කොච්චර investment කළාද කියලා we don't have enough information. Even government loan එකට මොකද උනේ කියලාවත් දන්නේ නැහැ කවුද? උගන්ඩා අරන් ගියාද අරේ ගියාද මේ ගියාද we don't know anything. Right? So practically it's really hard to identify the percentage of using government loans for the consumption and the investment. So practically what we have to do is we have to totally eliminate the government interest payment from the GDP because of this practical issue. It's a kind of limitation of the national accounting. Theoretically, the interest payment made to the investment we have to consider because it generated a new value. But when it's come to government loans, it's unable to identify how much goes to the consumption, how much goes to the investment. So because of that practical issue, the total interest payment of the government loans we totally eliminate from the GDP. A practical issue එකක් නිසා තමයි අයින් කරන්නේ, but theoretically හරි නම් ඒක ගන්න ඕන. හරිද? Right. ඉතින් ගානක තිබ්බත් you have to eliminate. ගන්න එපා government interest payment ගන්නෙ නැහැ. හරි. Interest. It is a payment made by the business to the suppliers of financial capital. Here can only be considered interest payment that contributed to the value added. Therefore, interest payment that do not contribute to the generation of value added are excluded from national accounting. Here an example, interest payment made to consumption loans. Interest payment made to consumption loans. Interest payments made to consumption loans should be excluded. Excluded. Right. And have it. Note, it is impossible to identify exactly how much of the government borrowings was used for consumption and how much was invested. Due to this practical issue, interest paid by the government is completely excluded from the national accounting. Highlight. The interest paid by the government is completely excluded. Right. And interest payment, we consider only the value added. Consumption will give an interest payment because if you consider that, there will be double counting error. Corporate profit. Corporate profit. We can use corporate profit for three purposes. From the corporate profit, first we can pay dividends to the shareholders. After pay dividend, pay the corporate tax to the government. Corporate tax to the government. So after paying the tax and the dividends, if you have still, then what we can do? Those are we known as retained profits. Retained profits. අපි කියනවා reserves කියලා කියන accounting වල. කියනවනේ නේද reserves කියලා කියන්නේ. තාම company cost කරේ නැහැ නේ. Reserves කියලා තියෙනවා. Reserves වලට දානවා මේ retained profits. So the corporate profit of a private limited or public firms, they can divide they can use this corporate profit into three ways: dividends, corporate tax, and the retained profits. For the corporate profit, the profit of the business firms registered as a companies are called corporate profits. Corporate profit consists of the following sources: corporate tax, dividends, retained profits. So get the summation of that. Corporate profit equal corporate tax plus dividends plus retained profits. Right. Right. Next one, mixed income. Then මෙතන තියෙන ළමයි corporate profit නේ. So other than the corporate businesses, all the businesses are here mixed income. So mixed income includes sole proprietors, partnerships, corporates, cooperative businesses. Then professionals income like doctors, lawyers, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ income පවා තියෙන මෙතන mixed income. So why we call this one mixed income? Because it's really hard to separately identify rent, wage, interest, and the profit from their income. For example, if you have a retail shop, right? Retail shop එකක් තියෙනවා නම්, from your monthly income, it's really hard to identify how much is the profit, how much is the wage, because you supply your own labor. So in your income, it's included wage. This is your own business. So it's include the profit as well. That is your own building. So it's include the rent as well. Right? Loan එකක් කරන් තිබ්බොත් නම් interest ගෙවනවා. Or if you use your own money, it's include the interest as well. Then the lawyer කෙනෙක්ගේ income. That is his own labor. So it's include wage. That is his own business as well. So it's include profit as well. He using his own money. Furniture ගන්න. So it's include interest as well. So mixed income is included everything. In my income also, I can't identify exactly how much is the profit, how much is the wage, because I'm using my own labor. So in my income included wage as well. So I'm making profit right? So it's include everything, mixed income. Then now corporate private limited. So now I can identify separately my wage, profit, and everything. Then my salary monthly from my own company. My salary decide and then from the corporate profit we have to pay dividends. 3 shareholders line no. Then corporate tax 30% given no and retained profits. Then identify karaganda puluwa, right? If there is a private limited, but if there is a sole proprietor's business, single business it's unable to identify wage kiyada, profit kiyada, interest kiyada identify karaganda be. That's why we call that is mixed income. The income of sole enterprises, joint ventures, cooperatives, farmers, and income of professionals who are not registered as companies are called mixed income. For example, income of doctors and lawyers, income of farmers, self-employed, right? Other net taxes. Next one. Other net taxes may tax but this is not a tax actually, right? Other net taxes it's a kind of payment. It's a kind of payment made to the government for the government services. This is not a tax, right? Other net tax make tax it's a kind of payment made to the government for their government services. For example, if you are starting a business, you have to pay registration fees to the government. Other net tax. Land sale karna, you have to pay stamp duties to the government. Other net taxes. License you have to pay license charges to the government. Other net taxes. Not the tax on goods and services. Other net taxes these are different payments made to the government for the government services. So what are the government services? They are preparing rules and regulations, road signals, then they given like property rights for us. Then land property right. That's why you have to pay stamp duties to the government. 4% from the land value. Land value became 4% then no government. Business का registration करा दी, then private limited register करा दी, you have to pay 25,000 to the government. That is we call other net taxes. So other net taxes mean that is not the tax on goods and services. These are different payments we made to the government for the government services. So that is a dual way transaction. They are providing services, then we made the payment, right? It generated a new value to the economy. Other net taxes. Other net taxes on production. Other taxes on production means the tax imposed over the provision of administration services or public property by the government. Highlight kara. Imposed over the provision of administration services. It is a payment to the government by manufacturers for engaging in the production process, and it is not a tax on the product. Product tax right? For the government services. License fees, assessment tax. You have to pay assessment tax. Like between if your home like between 100 meters from the main road, you have to pay assessment tax. Given I know. Assessment tax. Stamp duty, registration fee, pollution tax. Right. Consumption of capital, no need to discuss. What is the meaning of consumption capital? Depreciation. Right. Oh, yes. Net ne corporate profit, when you calculate the corporate profit, depreciation ayin kar leni. That's why we call this is net. Eka bhi separator. Dewa mega to dem gross scale anna. The next topic is gross operations. Ito the depreciation gun. Hurry. So the income we can divide into mainly two parts, primary and the secondary. Secondary income in the transfers, totally eliminate from the GDP, transfers not add any value. So the primary income can be mainly rent, wage, profit and the interest. But based on the SNA 2008, they describe the primary income into 5, right? Wage known as a employee compensation. So it's include all benefits, financially or materially. It's include everything. What is the real financial amicum? It's include your net salary, EPF, ETF, food allowance, mobile phone allowance, even insurance payments. Amicum make everything. So net operation surplus mean rest of the income. So rest of the income mean rent, interest, and the corporate profit. So rent it mean there is a income for the property. It's include intellectual property as well. Interest only interest payments made to the value added loans. So if you take a loan for the consumption purpose, then do not consider because that interest payment not added any value. So the government loans, it's really hard to identify how much goes to the consumption, how much goes to the investment. So because of that practical issue, totally eliminate the government interest payments. So corporate profit we can divide into three sources: dividends, corporate tax, and the retained profits. So mixed income mean the rest of the income other than the corporate businesses, professionals, sole proprietors, uh, partnerships, everything. Farmers' income, homogame income. Other net taxes mean there is not a tax on product. There is a payments made to the government due to the government services. And for license charges, annual fees, then vehicle revenue license. Revenue license is a kind of other net tax. There is not a tax on product, but we have to make that payment to the government. Consumption of capital mean depreciation. Then if you get the summation of these three, net operational surplus, mixed income, and the consumption of capital, that is we known as gross operational surplus. Gross operational surplus. Somebody is calling here, take only net operational surplus and the depreciation. But we have to, actually that is the syllabus. Syllabus but your paper is totally based on the central bank report. Central bank report again to calculate the gross operational surplus, they consider all three: net operational surplus, mixed income, and the consumption of capital. The logic behind is gross operational surplus mean the total income of every business, not only corporate. Mixed income කියන්නේ business එකක්. So ඒකයි central bank report එක ඒකත් ගන්න. So gross operational surplus mean the summation of net operational surplus, mixed income, and the depreciation. The exam එකේ gross operational surplus තිබ්බොත් එම you have to consider only two income. තව දෙකයි ගන්න තියෙනවා නේද? Employee compensation and the other net taxes. A gross operational surplus දීලා තිබ්බොත් ඒක තුළ දැන් මේ තුන් දෙනාම ඉන්නවා. So only two income you have to consider. अब लिया हम gross operational surplus के the summation of net operational surplus, summation of net operational surplus, comma mixed income, and consumption of capital. Is known as gross operational surplus. Is known as gross operational surplus. अच्छा बराबर. 102 all out. Hurry. Then gross operational surplus equal net operational surplus plus net operational surplus plus mixed income plus consumption of capital. හරිද? right. So උතෙන්ට එකම මේක හොඳට පාඩම් කරගන්න. මේ බලන්න. දැන් ළමයි අපි GDP ගන්න මෙහෙමයි. So that is end of the income approach. That's it. හරිද? දැන් මෙහෙමයි. මේ first of all you have to get the compensation of employee. exam එකේ දෙයි. Then net operational surplus. Then mixed income. Then other net taxes and the consumption of capital. This answer we known as the total GVA at basic price. So how do you get this answer in production approach? Production approach එක මෙතනට ආවේ කොහොමද? Yes, GVA in agriculture sector, GVA in industrial sector, and GVA in service sector. Then total GVA at basic price. That answer and this answer should be the same. You should get the same answer. And after that, you have to get the same procedures. Then I am meeting here to conduct the income approach. The meeting here, you have to use the same procedure. So how you convert this basic price into market price? And net tax on goods and services. එතකොට මොකක්ද ආවේ? GDP at market price. ඒක how you convert into gross national income? And net foreign primary income. එතකොට මොකක්ද ආවේ? Gross national income. So gross national income වලින් if you deduct the depreciation, that is net national income. So same thing. So මේකයි උගන්නන්න දෙයක් නැහැ මෙතනින් එහාට. income approach එක මම උගන්නන්නේ මෙච්චරයි. එතනින් එහාට දැන් ඔයා හදාගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? right. හැබැයි මේවයි දැන්. In the exam if it's given gross operational surplus, then you have to take only another two. Employee compensation and the other net taxes. Plus gross operational surplus equal total GVA. It was a පල්ලයට same method. In the page number 8, calculation of GDP under income approach. Right now, compensation of employee equal. Use your own values. Use your own values. Or employee compensation or compensation of employees. Put your own values. Then net operational surplus. देखो पाठन करगंड. Net operational surplus. Net operational surplus. Then mixed income. In other net taxes on production. Consumption of capital. That answer is total GV at basic price total GVA at basic price. Then add net tax on products and the goods and services. Net tax on goods and services. Then the answer is what? GDP at market price. Then the answer is GDP at market price. Then add net foreign primary income. Net foreign primary income. Gross national income. ඊට පස්සේ මං කියලා දුන්නේ නැද්ද? අපි කරේ නැද්ද disposable gross national income කියලා එකක්? නෑනේ. කමන්නේ නෑ. ඔතනින් ඉරක් ගාලා බලන්න. Gross national income. Right. That's it. Right. පාරි මේව කියනවා. So this can be calculated even in the following way. අපි උඩරම ගමු gross operational surplus. Gross operational surplus. Gross operational surplus. Now, by looking at the above values, get your own gross operational surplus. Values දාලා නේද? නැද්ද? මම කම්මැලි ටික. Excellent. And again, gross operational surplus. Then you have to take only two. How many are there? මේ ටිකක් මම මේක ඔන්න කම්ප්ලිකේටඩ් එකක් කියන පට ගහන මේක අපි වෙන සිලබස් එකෙත් නෑ ඒකට එක්සෑම් එකේදී දන්නේ tax on මම කියන කෙලිම net කියලා එතකොට සබ්සිඩි අයින් කරලා නැති net tax on production net tax on production we can divide into two එකක් තමයි net tax on product ඒක අපිගේ net tax on goods and services කියලා මෙතනින් දැන් ඔය ඇඩ් කළා ඒක හරිද the other one is other net tax මෙතන other net tax on production remember net tax on production we can divide into two other net tax on product මෙදින product එකට ගන්න tax එක මේ තියෙන government එක අපෙන් ගන්න charges ටික other net tax on production so අපිට දැන් මෙහෙම ගත්තොත් gross operational surplus හරිද plus employee compensation plus මේක ගත්තොත් net tax on production what is your answer what is that answer gross operational surplus plus employee compensation plus net tax on production කියන මේ දෙකම ගත්තොත් what is that answer GDP at market price ඒකෙන් ඔයා කෙලින්ම මේකත් අරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ ඇඩ් කරන අද මේ net tax එකත් අරගෙන so directly what GDP එන එකපාරට ඒ කියන්නේ මේ total GDP at basic price කියන එකත් skip කරලා කෙලින්ම GDP ගන්න ඒ කියනවා මේ දැන් මෙතනදි ගන්නවානේ other net tax මේ දින්නේ එක ඊට පස්සේ ඇඩ් කරනවානේ net tax on product ඒ net tax on goods and services ඒ තියෙන්නේ මේක ඉතින් මේ දෙකම නෝ එකපාර දැන් total එක ගන්න so directly you will get the GDP same ලියන්න gross operational surplus ඊට පස්සේ ගන්න employee compensation Then tax on production. Tax net tax. Net tax on production. Net tax on production. Then directly you get the GDP at market price. GDP at market price. Aitara palyang araka daga. Net tax on production divided into 2. Net tax on product and other net tax on production. Other net tax on production. Net tax on production divided into 2. Net tax on product and other net tax on production. Right. I'll give you 5 minutes. Here, tell me how to calculate the gross national income. 5 types of primary income. But how to calculate gross national income? Summarize the income divided into 2, primary income and the secondary income. Secondary income means the transfers, so exclude from the GDP. Primary income can a rent, wage, profit and the interest, but when it's come to the SNA 2008, we identify it in different way. Mulima, first one, employee compensation, it's include all the benefits, including EPF, ETF as well. So that is not the net salary received end of the month. That is total benefit. All financial and material, everything. Then net operating surplus mean rest of the income, which include rent, interest, and the corporate profit. So rent, then interest payments, it's important because we consider only the interest payment added a new value, right? So the consumption loans not added in a new value. So that interest payment we exclude. And due to practical issue of identifying how much goes to the consumption, how much goes to the investment, the government interest payment also exclude from the GDP. Corporate profit, it has 3 sources. Manal, Ambo. Three sources of corporate profits. Manal, dividends, corporate tax, and retained profits. Then mixed income other than corporate income. It include farmers' income, professionals' income, sole proprietors, partnerships, everything. So other net taxes mean there is a payment made to the government for the government administration services. So that is not a tax, it's a payment. So how do you get the gross operating surplus? Mixed income plus net operating surplus plus consumption of capital. Thank you. Yes. How to calculate gross national income from the beginning? Let's again. Starting from employee compensation. අයිසලම් total GVA ගන්න විදිහ කියන්නේ උතන total GVA ගන්න මොකද කරන්නේ? මොනවද ගන්න? කියන්නේ එකක්වත් මතක නැහැ? එකක්වත් මතක නැහැ? ඉඳාගෙදි කි? මායිෂා
Compensation of employees last is income plus net operating
surplus.
plus other taxes and financial plus
එච්චර so there is what? There is total GVA at basic price. Then to that add on then GDP at let her do please. Then add net foreign primary income gross national income. Right. Q double it. Yes. I am a close your books නැත්නම් මේ යනවා. Close your books. And don't help to anyone. तो help करने කෙනාගේ තමයි ඊළඟට අහන්නේ. ඔය දෙන්නගේ මහා. කියන්නේ on production. Net taxes on product. Minus consumption of capital is net national. You dilili. Production. Other net tax. P. GDP. नहीं एम्प्लॉय कंपनसेशन पता करना किया नहीं बड़ा नहीं तो क्या नो एम्प्लॉय कंपनसेशन नेट ऑपरेशन सरप्लस ये पहा मातो दिया नीट बस कौन आती पीली में रखने नहीं वो तीन नेट ऑपरेशन सरप्लस है तुझे मेन 5 क्यों ना पाड़ा कर करना इतना other net tax mixed income equal right net foreign then gross national income You. Aragali. Yes. Yes, starting from compensation of employee.
Other taxes on production and consumption of capital
Equal.
equal G
No, no. GVA.
basic price, and then taxes on products equal GDP at market price, and then net foreign fiber income, gross national income,
No, no.
secondary income from abroad. So then disposable.
I got it.
Disposable.
Right. You. Yes.
Basic price, then plus income from consumption.
Question. Net national income. Nangi. Yes. Net tax. Capital. Net operations.
Basic price. And taxes on equal. Net
Foreign primary income. You. Yeah. මොකද ඒ පහ මතක නැද්ද? අද ඒ පහ කියන්නේ. ඒ පහ කියන්නේ fixed income. Thank you. Kapan try kar. Oh, right रे. Surplus. Other net taxes. Employee. अरे एक इंगिन आंसर का total. Correct करो ना. Net tax. It was at करो ना. Net foreign. Primary income. itu ini gross national income. basic product ఎదురైన టోటల్ ఎదురైన GDP gross national income last one what am I last one क्या operational consumption product market price primary income Hurry. In page number 9 right, start this one. Calculate net operational surplus, gross operating surplus, total GV and basic price, GDP and market price. Start. Don't write just numbers. Right. First one, net operating surplus. Net operating surplus. Rent plus net interest plus corporate profit 3,000. English medium, I know.